All right, gentlemen, as we go through the lines here at Lions
I'm
week
guessing
2.
4.5. They're a 4.5 point dog.
I've got him as a 6.5 point dog.
Jurko, you're wrong. Carmen, you might be better at this than you think, sir. 4.5 points.
4.5. Okay, so I actually hit that one on the head. Good.
I have a feeling that thing's going to move out to 6.5.
It might.
Early prediction: it moves out to 6.5 before kickoff.
Cowboys at home in week 3, Yerk. I have him as a 1-point underdog.
Fox's game of the week, by the
Yeah,
way.
that's right.
I've got him as a 1.5 underdog.
Okay.
The Bears are a 3-point favorite.
I'm surprised at that.
home against the Cowboys.
I'm
Ridiculous.
surprised at that.
Ridiculous. There's going to be no value on the Bears early.
All right, at Vegas.
Favorite. 3.5 point favorite against Vegas on the road.
I've got it as a 2-point favorite on the road.
Not so fast, my friend. A 1.5 point favorite on the
1.5.
road.
So I was close.
So they are favored.
They are favored. They're 1.5.
Vikings, Cowboys, and Vegas, they're favored.
So far, yeah, they're 3 of their first 4. Commanders on the road. I have them as a 5-point dog.
I have him as a 3-point dog.
After the bye, there's 2 Monday Night Football games that weekend or that Monday. They're a 6:15 start. They're the 7:15 start. The Bears are a 4.5 point underdog on the road.
So I've been close on most of these, off by a half point. 4.5 point road underdog at the Commanders. Saints at home.
4-point favorite.
I had 3.5. You're going to bigger 6.
7.5 point favorite.
Boy, they don't think the Saints are going to be very good, boys.
That's the one that I was like, wait up.
Who's going to be the quarterback of the Saints?
Exactly.
We don't know.
Okay, so I was way off on that one. That's my biggest miss by far so far. All right, Yurko was a little bit closer. He had him as a 4-point favorite.
Yeah, at Baltimore, 6.5 point dogs.
I'm right with Yurk. 6.5, I thought.
7-point dog.
7, all right.
These are all
right
according
there.
to ESPN bet,
We're all
too,
there.
by the way.
Yeah,
So.
close.
Cincinnati, 5.5.
I said 4.5.
3.
3, okay.
3-point
wow.
dog.
3-point dog. It's
Not bad.
At home against the Giants.
6-point favorites.
I'm 100% with Yurko. They're a 6-point favorite against the Giants.
Close but no cigar. 5.5.
5.5. We're close.
Damn, we're on top of it.
5.5. At the Eagles, that's the. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I skipped a couple games.
You
Forgive
skipped a
me.
week, yeah.
I'm going too fast.
Minnesota.
I skipped 2. At Minnesota, a Fox game at noon.
3-point dog.
Yeah, 3 is what I had.
Close.
Maybe
2.5.
2.5. Mm-hmm. I thought maybe it would be under the key. All right, and then the Steeler game at home. I'm going.
That's where they're going to be a 2.5 point favorite.
I kind of agree.
And I don't like it.
Like a weird.
I don't like it.
The Bears are favored by 2.
2.5.
2.5.
Ding, ding,
Yurko
ding.
nailed it.
Dead on.
Dead on.
Dead on.
All right, at the Eagles.
9.5 point dog.
I'm going to say touchdown. 7-point underdog.
Touchdown, yeah.
7-point
points, yeah.
underdog at the Packers.
It'll go out to
at the
9.5.
Eagles. It might.
It'll go out to 9.5.
Depending on how the seasons go, because there's a lot of games that
Yeah,
will be played.
at
It's a
Green
short
Bay.
week. Isn't it a short week for both teams? It's a Friday game.
It is a Friday.
It does
Yeah.
look like a Friday game, yeah.
That's the Black Friday game.
Yeah.
At the Packers.
Why is it got to be black?
I'm going to say the Bears are. I'm going to say the Bears are 3.5 point underdogs in this spot at the Packers.
I'm worried about it because that's a day that could live in infamy. I will go with 4.5 points.
Carmen, you are better at this than you think. 3.5 points.
On
Yeah.
it. Well, I can't echo it. I don't want to
No,
echo
I
it. I want to
understand
be a
that,
little
but,
bit
but
different.
Carmen went into this saying he's bad.
I
at
usually
this.
like preseason wise. I usually feel like I'm not that good.
The
at it.
Browns at home, 5.5 point favorite.
I think Yurko's like probably spot on with that. Maybe
Touchdown.
Touchdown. Okay.
7
Maybe
points.
6.
See, they're stretching them
Maybe
out in games.
6.
I don't think they deserve it, and
Well, listen, I think the
shorter than some other ones.
Yeah. Packer game at home. They are a 1-point favorite.
1.5 point
1.5
favorite.
maybe, yeah.
1.5 point dog.
Oh, don't
Dog
you
at
dog
home.
me.
Bet
Don't
it now
you
if you
dog
can.
me.
Get the
Wow.
Bears as a home dog while you can in Week 16.
At San Francisco,
Sunday Night Football.
I got them as a 10-point
They're
dog.
not a 10-point dog.
They're going to get their asses kicked again.
They're 5-point dogs in that game.
3.5 points.
3.5. That was a point and a half off.
They're getting some love.
And then the final game, TBD, at home in Week 18 against the Lions.
Red rum.
They
This
got to
is the
be
possibility of red rumming it.
God, think about how far away this is. Who the hell knows? They got to be a 2-point favorite in that game.
Who?
They might be a dog.
Who?
The Bears. That's a home game. That's the home game against the Lions.
No.
You think dog?
No, yeah, it's a 2.5 point dog.
1.5 point dog.
1.5 point dog. You were close.
All right, the wild card, guys, when they face.
That's
We
pretty
knows
good.
what
So if
happens
you
once
count
they
that
get to the
up, so if you
playoffs.
count that up, that's 7 games where they're a favorite,
That's what I
and
figured.
then 3 games where they're a field goal or less underdog.
A lot of tight lines.
So that's 10 games
tight
where they're
lines.
2.5 or they're an underdog of 2.5 or a favorite. So 10 games where they're either a favorite or they're a dog by under a field goal.
3 of their first 5 games are on the road. At the Lions, at the Raiders, which might be a little bit more like a home game, believe it or not, and then at the Commanders, the scene of the crime from last year. What's their record through the first 5?
Through the first 5?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Best case scenario is 3-2.
Best case.
Best case scenario.
I mean, obviously, best case is 5-0, but I kind of agree with your
No,
If it all goes well,
Best case
you're
scenario is
3-2.
3-2. Yeah.
I'm wondering if they're not 2-3.
I'd take it through the first 6, Carm, just because you're at home against the
And then
Saints.
the Saints.
So your best case scenario is last year. You're 4-2.
4-2. They were 4-2 a year
You
ago.
match what you did a year ago. You're 4-2, and then that's when the murder happened. And then you've got 5 of the next 7 on the road.
Yeah.
5 of the next 7 on the road. So if you're not 4-2 after 6, you're not beating Baltimore, guys.
And 5 tough games.
You're not beating Cincinnati.
You might.
You're
but
not beating Philadelphia.
Probably not.
Especially since they can tush push.
They
Yeah.
can still tush push.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that stretch of road games that Yurko's talking about, late October into December, at Ravens, at Bengals, at Vikings, at Eagles, at Packers. Those are a couple of tough division games. There's the Super Bowl winner on the road. There's the Ravens on the road. I mean, every team in there except the Bengals were a playoff team, and the Bengals missed by a game,
Yeah.
right? Ravens, playoff team. Vikings, playoff team. They might take a step back. Eagles, playoff team. Super Bowl champs, obviously. Packers, playoff team. And they also play the Steelers in there at home. And the one game that it's you never really know. Who knows what it'll look like come November? But the Giants look like maybe the cupcake game. If you
Give
wanna call
me
it
2 games
that. I like
that could flip either way. So give me 2 games that they are underdogs, where by the time we get to them, they could become favorites, and 2 games that they are favorites, where they could become underdogs. Obviously, we are not counting injuries. Injuries do not matter. We're not counting that right now.
Okay.
Obviously, anything can happen in the NFL. So we're gonna assume everyone is healthy.
Sunday, December 7th at Green Bay. That one could flip.
That was the one that they are a
A
3.5 point underdog, right? In that
Yeah.
one, you said? Mm-hmm. You think that could flip
Around
to the
there.
Bears being a favorite here?
Yeah.
I believe it was it 2.5?
Maybe 2.5, yeah.
Yeah, they're a 1.5 point dog at home against the Packers.
No, he's talking about the game in Green Bay.
Oh, in Green Bay.
Yeah,
And then
what was
I'd
that
go.
one?
Then I'd go with the Packers at home. I'd go both the games against the Packers late enough in the year. When you get there, those could flip.
I'll say you're going to think I'm crazy. And I don't know if I really believe this because I was surprised to see that they're a 3-point favorite in this game. But Adam said in week 3 they're a 3-point favorite at home against the Cowboys. But what if they start 0-2 and the Cowboys are 2-0? Like, I could see that game flipping. Like, if Dak looks awesome, the Cowboys are 2-0. We know how that thing gets going then.
I mean, I'm at least I'm positive.
But he said both ways, though.
I
Eric.
know.
He
I know.
said-
He said both ways. But at least I'm positive.
You are. That's true.
You went directly the negative route.
Well,
The Bears started 0-2. Oh my God! Are you
I'm just
kidding me?
saying he asked us to pick 2 games.
My life is over before before September.
The Lions game
before
at
I
the
can
end of the
balance
season,
an ink.
too.
That could totally flip.
Because it depends on who's playing for what. Like, the Lions might not have anything to play for.
I think that's a prime candidate for a flip.
Yeah, but that's extenuating circumstances. Like, if that outcome matters for both teams, the Lions are still a favorite in that game. Unless losing both coordinators and a bunch of coaches completely throws the Lions off the rails.
Which it could, but I think I'll choose to believe a little bit more in Dan Campbell, but it could. What was the line when they go to Minnesota on the 16th?
They are a 2.5 point dog.
What if that can flip and the Bears are a favorite? What if things are going great? And Minnesota's taking a step back and JJ struggles.
I mean, it's a rookie quarterback.
That's what I mean. Like, I could see that. So on the positive side, I could see that game flipping. Sometimes hard to be a road favorite in the division, but I could see that game flipping if everything's going swimmingly for the Bears and the Vikings have taken a step back and their offense has struggled. And plus, Ben Johnson's had a lot of success against that defense. He's had some success against Brian Flores. if all goes well, like let's say they get to that game and the Bears are 4-1, 5-2, 6. I mean, gosh, what if they're like 7-2?
Who?
Yeah,
The Bears?
yeah, and then that flips. I know you can laugh. Hey, listen, it's better than the 0-2 start.
It's better than 2-7.
No,
Right?
I'm getting negative.
They can't be 7-2.
Why can't you believe, man?
7-2
Come on.
seems pretty lofty.
Why
It
can't
does.
you believe?
Because I believe last year.
It seems pretty lofty.
I believe last year and got punched straight in the
But
face.
this team hasn't punched you in the face yet.
No.
Ben Johnson hasn't cheated
They've
on you
already-
yet.
They've already done
Just
it to
because
me.
you've been hurt, a scorned lover?
Nope, they've
Doesn't mean
already
that
done
this
it.
lover has scorned you yet.
Already done it to me, guys. I apologize. I'm sorry. I do have 8-8 going into the final game.
Do you?
Yeah.
Wow.
8-8 going into the final game.
That'd be some drama for Week 18.
No team made the playoffs with 9 victories last year.
Nobody did, Yerk?
Nobody made the playoffs with 9 victories last year.
2 years ago, did a couple teams?
I think so, but not last year. Every team had at least 10 victories that went to the playoffs.
Damn. Yeah.
You want to go ahead and check
Yurko's
that
right.
out?
Yurko's right.
Yeah.
I think maybe 2 years ago.
Could be. Could
the
be 2
Packers
years
had
ago.
9 wins and they made it. Mm-hmm. Whoa, that would set up some drama for Week 18. Man.
That would set up some drama. And what do? Do they do their buddy Ben Johnson the favor and lay down and rest their players? Interesting scenario. Put that one down already. Future headlines.
Future headlines.
Detroit lays down like dogs.